Welcome back to the Bulldog Insider. Time for Coach's Corner, brought to you by Bud Light. Raise one to right now. Here with Coach Tim DeRuyter. Coach, let's start at the end of the game. You're down by 5. You have 4 chances to win by getting in the end zone from the 4-yard line. Take us through that sequence.
Well, we were out of timeouts, or we had 1 timeout left, I believe, and we got about a 10 or 11-yard run to get down to the 4-yard line. Our game plan going in from the 4 in that personnel grouping, they were a zero blitz team. And so our plan was to throw it in. We thought we'd have man coverage, and we thought we'd have good matchups.
Hindsight is 20/20. Your running game was effective in this game. Dontel James with a career best 169 yards. Why not trust the run in that situation?
Well, again, it was something that going into the week, our game plan was at that point. That's what we thought was going to be the best way to attack it. Not having timeouts, multiple timeouts. Made us have a little bit of pause about running the ball and then using our last time out and not having a chance to maybe get all 4 plays in. We were correct. The 3 of the plays until the 4th down play, they zero blitzed, and so we got the matchups we wanted. We just didn't execute.
Well, Chase and Virgil didn't complete any pass on that sequence, but for the game, he was 60% completion percentage, which was a huge improvement over the UNLV game. He wasn't the only Bulldog quarterback to see the field. What made you decide to play Zach Klein and at that particular point in the second quarter?
Well, we told both quarterbacks during the week. As a staff last weekend, we made a decision that just to change things up, give Zach his chance when he had been in there in the past. He gave our offense a spark. And give Chasen a chance to be on the sideline and see live action, somebody else making some decisions, and maybe help him in his development. Zach came in and I thought did some good things. He got a first down with his legs, but he's got to protect the ball better. He's let the ball out there. We turned the ball over on the 44-yard line, and defensively we didn't make them kick. They went in to score.
Yeah, he did lose a fumble that you said led to a Nevada touchdown, but he also had a touchdown pass that was called back because of a penalty. Did Zach Klein do enough in your mind to maybe give him another shot in the future?
Well, no, it's really hard to judge just based on the couple of series that he had. I think the competition, Chasen knew before the game that this was the plan. And I think that kind of inspired him and spurred him to have a great week of practice. We're going to evaluate everything. I do feel good that Zach is at the ready, but Chasen right now is our quarterback.
You look at the final numbers, Coach. You guys had more first downs, more total yards. You ran more plays. You punted less. Should you have won this game?
Well, I think, we did a lot of things really well. But too many times we made dumb plays. On the 75-yard touchdown pass, we had a holding penalty. On Nevada's first touchdown drive, 3rd and 10, we get a sack, but we get a horse collar penalty. Extends the drive, they go down and score. Right at the end of the half, less than a minute to play, and we let a guy get behind us, and we're in great position. There's a handful of plays that if we make it, it never comes down to that, the 4-play series at the end of the game. I was proud of the way our guys came back from 21-6 down. When you're on the road, those are difficult circumstances. We came out, our defense stiffened up in the second half. I think we only gave up 110 yards in the second half. Got a takeaway in the second half, and most importantly, got a 3 and out in the 4-minute situation where they could have tried to run the clock out and not give our offense a chance. And our guys, stood up at that point. But stats don't matter. What matters is finding a way to get it done. And we're at that stage where we've got to find a way to get over the top.
And in the bigger picture, losing that game dropped you to 0-2 in the conference. Is that something you can overcome?
No, I don't think it's something you can't overcome, but it's going to be uphill, obviously. Our guys know we've got a great opportunity right now with the team that was picked first in our division, San Diego State, coming to Bulldog Stadium. We look at each week as an individual game. We don't look at what's happened in the past or what's happening after this week. It's just San Diego State.
And speaking of the Aztecs, they come into Bulldog Stadium on Friday. We'll ask Coach DeRuyter about facing SDSU when we come back. Welcome back to the Bulldog Insider. Our Coach's Corner continues, brought to you by Xfinity. Coach, you just wrapped up a stretch where 3 of 4 games were on the road. You have 4 of your next 6 games at home. What type of environment do you expect at Bulldog Stadium on Friday?
Well, I'm hoping we get a great homecoming crowd. The last 2 times we played at the stadium, we played pretty well in beating Sacramento State. Played well for a lot of the game against Tulsa, only to let it slip through our hands. We're playing an exciting brand of football right now. When you're playing with young guys that are talented, guys like Jameer Jordan, Keyshawn Johnson, we've got some guys that can make some plays. Dontel and our running game got going. But our guys raised the level of play when we're playing in Bulldog Stadium. And, we're wounded right now. We got off to an 0-2 start on the road. We need the support of our Red Wave and our students, and hopefully they'll show up on Friday.
The challenges of playing on a Friday night. You've done it in the past, you do it for TV purposes, but on a short week, how do you approach things differently?
Well, we talked to our players today. Tomorrow is our normal day off, but tomorrow's Tuesday for us. So we, just move the calendar up a day. You modify things slightly. You got to have your guys' legs bounce back, and so some of our reps are going to be a little bit adjusted differently than in a normal week. But San Diego State's got to do the same thing, and they've got to travel here. So there's no excuse about anything. It's get to the grind and let's go prepare.
Now, in terms of San Diego State, you're going to get a heavy dose of Donnell Pumphrey, who is a dark horse candidate for the Heisman Trophy. You've had problems stopping the run this season, so what changes do you make to be able to stop him?
Well, you've got to just keep working at it. I think we got better at times. When we didn't fit well is when we got some looks that were a little bit unusual, but they were looks that we practiced in practice, and we've got to get lined up and play. When you don't get lined up, you don't give yourself a chance. And we had some young players have some busts. We've got to get that eliminated. We may have to simplify things, but we've got to go out and play well against a run. We know that that's what they're going to do. But when you commit everybody to stopping the run, they do a really good job of play action. They'll only have 2, maybe 3 receivers in the route, but throwing the ball over the top of people and getting big chunk plays. So you've got to be diligent in how you defend them, and you got to get multiple guys to attack because Pumphrey makes guys miss.
A couple of weeks ago, the Aztecs were undefeated and nationally ranked. They're not anymore, but does that change the perception of this team in your mind?
I don't think so. Our coaches and our players look at the tape. This is an excellent football team. Very well coached. They play extremely hard. They probably have if not the best player in the league, one of the best players in the league in Pumphrey. Defensively, I think there's no doubt that they're the class of the league defensively. I think they've got a ton of starters returning from a year ago that had a terrific unit. It's a big challenge for us, and the fact that it is San Diego State. You look at the last 4 years, the team that's won that game between us and them has won our division and gone on to win the conference.
And among other things, on Friday, you'll be playing for the old oil can, which goes to the winner of this series. It was in your office from 2012 to 2014. How badly do you want that rusty old oil can back?
Well, even though it's a rusty oil can, what it represents is a lot of years, a lot of teams. And it represents, obviously, that year's winner. And the fact that it's in San Diego right now doesn't sit well with our players or coaches, and we're going to fight like hell to go out there and get it back.
All right, he's Coach Tim DeRuyter. The Bulldogs' next game again is on Friday, 7 o'clock at Bulldog Stadium against San Diego State. Coach, we appreciate the time on the Bulldog Insider. Thank you.
I appreciate you having me on.
You bet.